good having you to join us on African Free Press Television for the news. My name is Leo Oketan. These are the stories we're tracking for you at this moment. The Nigerian government has accused the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, of plotting to create a breakaway Biafra republic with Nigeria's present south, southeast and north central states as component units. The government on Friday slammed fresh charges against Mr. Kanu shortly after a court ordered his release from custody, where he has been held since October. The six-count charge was filed by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. Justice Adeni Ademola of the same court had, in a December 17 ruling, faulted the action of the State Security Service in detaining Mr. Kanu for over 2 months without trial. And the acting spokesman of the Islamic Movement of Nigeria and a group propagating the spread of Shiite ideology in Nigeria, Ibrahim Musa, had said that over 800 members of the sect killed by the Nigerian troops were buried in mass grave. A clash between members of the sect and a convoy of the Chief of Army Staff to Kuburatai on December 12th and 13th in Zaria left a yet unknown number of sect members, including the sector's second-in-command, Mohammed Turi, dead. But Mr. Musa, in an exclusive interview with Premium Times, said hundreds of dead bodies were transported from Ahmadu Bello Teaching Hospital, the Shika and Military Hospital in Zaria to a discreet location in Kaduna. Mr. Musa, who is the editor of the sect's weekly newspaper, Al Mizan, said that about 40 members of the sect who sustained gunshot injuries were remanded in Kaduna prisons and Banawa Open Prison without medical attention. He also said that there are currently 160 arrested sect members in detention in Kaduna. And the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has described the 6.8 trillion 2016 federal budget presented by President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday as a big fraud, an executive conspiracy teller towards mortgaging the future of the nation. The party queried Mr. Buhari's decision to borrow 2 trillion naira, the biggest in the history of the nation, as the height of recklessness and deceit from a government that trends on propaganda. The PDP, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary Elisa Meto on Tuesday, berated the federal government for trying to use their bogus welfare program and phantom capital projects as cover and conduits to siphon the funds to satisfy partisan interests, particularly to settle huge campaign debts. And as part of efforts to improve Nigeria's business and investment terrain, the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, FRC, has announced that 2 moderating codes of corporate governance for the organized private sector and not-for-profit organization will be operational in the first quarter of 2016. Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of FRC, Jim Obaze, said the introduction of the codes would be after harmonization of the existing scattered operational industry codes of corporate governance. Mr. Obaze said at the 12th Annual Corporate Financial Reporting Summit in Lagos that the Code of Public Sector would be delayed because of the need for the code to exhaustively pass through the Federal Government Executive Council. And the Police Service Commission has approved the promotion of 986 senior police officers and has appointed Emmanuel Ibe as the acting secretary. This is contained in a statement issued by Commission spokesman Ikechukwu Ani in Abuja on Tuesday. Mr. Ibe was the Director of Administrations and Finance and Special Assistant to the former Chairman of the Commission. The statement said that these decisions were taken at the Commission's 14th plenary held in Abuja. Some of the promoted officers are CP Shuaibu Gambo, who is now an Assistant Inspector General of Police, while DCPs are Jonah Mava, Olushola David, Titus Lamode, Chika Meidama, and Abdullahi Ibrahim are now Commissioners of Police. The statement said 16 assistant commissioners were elevated to the rank of deputy commissioners, 21 chief superintendents to assistant commissioners, and 3 superintendents to chief superintendents. 9 deputy superintendents moved to superintendents, and 931 assistant superintendents to deputy superintendents. He further said that 2 acting DCPs, 4 acting ACPs, and 1 acting CSP were also confirmed. But the statement said that the promotions took effect from December 16th. It said 12 disciplinary cases involving some policemen were resolved during the meeting. The statement said 2 officers were demoted, 2 severely reprimanded, and 4 others reprimanded. It said 1 officer received a letter of advice while 3 others were exonerated. And the former Nigerian Minister of Petroleum, Mrs. Tiziani Alison Madueke, has strongly stated she performed excellently with the right qualifications while in office, as opposed to people's view that she was controversial. She noted that people often hate others for knowing so much and for being efficient and confident, which they mistake for arrogance. She made this known while answering questions fielded by the CEO of Ovation magazine, Mr. Dele Momodu, in London. Mrs. Madueke went on to say that their government had to confront so many challenges, including oil theft and general insecurity. She, however, noted that some of those in office then delivered responsibly, while a few breached the faith and wasted the opportunities handed to them by the then President, Goodluck Jonathan. And now on the foreign scene, the Ghanaian government has announced ban on public officials from first-class air travel. The government said that the measure was part of renewed efforts to cut wasteful spending as the country began the implementation of an International Monetary Fund aid deal. Communications Minister Edward Boama, who announced this in Accra, said the presidency issued a directive asking all ministers and other top officials to avoid unwarranted foreign trips on the public purse. According to Mr. Boama, inappropriate spending would likely be a top campaign issue as Ghana is preparing to hold presidential and parliamentary elections in 2016. Mr. Boama also said the cabinet was discussing a financial accountability bill which would impose penalties such as dismissal or jail term for public officials who were found to violate it. And still on the foreign scene, the Malawian government has reaffirmed its decision to hold the arrest and prosecution of gay citizens while lawmakers review existing anti-gay laws. Rights group Human Rights Watch and the Center for Development of the People praised the Malawian government for upholding its 2012 commitment after prosecutors dropped charges against a same-sex couple. The rights group said 2 men were detained by the Neighborhood Watch team, who turned them over to police. The men were forced to undergo medical tests and charged with sodomy. This was the first arrest since 2009 when a gay couple was jailed and pardoned a year later. In a statement published by a Malawian newspaper, the country's Minister of Justice, Samuel Beno, said no arrest or prosecutions must occur while the country reviews its laws. And these are the stories we're tracking for you. For more stories, please do log on to our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press, like our Facebook page at African Free Press, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. My name is Leah Oketa. Merry Christmas.